Yo, yo, what up? What up? What's popping? What's good? What's good? What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Locario. We got Miles Cunningham, Steve the Dean in the building, and Rashidi in the building. So today we're going to be talking about, how much does children actually cost? You understand what I'm saying? Because I know some of y'all out there, you're going to have kids. You might have some kids by mistake. You might have some kids on purpose. But but I'm gonna have y'all take it away because I don't got no kids, so I don't know what the cost is. I want to know, would y'all advise people if they broke to have kids? How much money do you think a person needs to really successfully have a good family where everybody's taken care of? So what's y'all thoughts on all that? Y'all could start and go ahead and go in.
You and Lucario, you go before me.
Go ahead, Rashidi. Go ahead.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, the moral of the story is kids cost a lot of money. I mean, tell you the truth, man. If you want to give you real quick numbers, I got my little sheet here, man. The average kid costs up to age 18, $233,000. That's before they go to college. You know what I mean? So what that really mean is most people don't pay attention how much they pay for their kids, but that's how much you pay for your kids on average. You know what I mean? I mean, even low income housing. You know what I mean? Low income houses, they on average spend about $170,000. So that's with government assistance. Kids still cost $170,000. Again, that's not even going to college. And again, that's one kid on average.
Wow.
You know what I mean? The reality of the situation, how that really looks, how you break it down is, you got your kids' health insurance. They add about extra $100 a month on your payment plan for adding your kid onto your health insurance policy. Then you think about little stuff like, medicine, Tylenol, all that type of little stuff. Then on top of that, if you want to send your kid to Catholic school, that's like $3,000 to $8,000 a year on average. So, right. I mean, when it comes to kids, they add up, and it's all the little things that you never really think about, and they kind of like a house. It's something that needs to get done. You have to fix it. If your pipe break, you got to fix it. If your kid's sick, you got to take him to the hospital. You can't take any chances. Right. You know what I mean? So all those little things add up over time.
And kids,
so that's my gist on it.
Kids' feet grow.
That's another one. That's another one.
You go spend a good chunk of money on some sneakers, and then next week they talking about, I need some new sneakers. You like, what, nigga?
Listen. My son is on a second pair of shoes right now, man. I just bought him a pair 2 months ago, and they damn near charge the same prices as adult shoes. You know what I mean? I spent $50.
How old is he? How old is the kid?
He's 10. He's 10 now, so he's growing fast, man. You know what I mean? Eating 2 bowls of cereal.
I just saw a story on some TV show, whatever, but Shaq decided to help this single parent mother chick. She has a 13-year-old son that wears size 19 shoes. And Shaq came and was like, and brought the kid and the mother to his guy, like the guy that makes his shoes. Shaq, I think he wear like size 24 out here. So he took him to the guy that special makes his shoes, this dude, and bought him like 10 pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just to help out the family and shit. Because first of all, you can't really find his size, and if you do find his size, you're paying like double what you would pay in regular shoes, shoe costs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one aspect of it. And kids are growing all the time, so they're going into their clothes. It's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, so Steve, how many kids do you have that you know of? You know what I'm saying?
I've been doing a lot of fucking five. It's five.
Right. So you got 5 kids. So how, tell us, because with 5 kids,
yes,
I know you could give us some insight on you know what I'm saying, like what it really takes. You know what I mean? What type of responsibility that is? Go in.
Okay, so my woman and I started an apartment. Okay, we were in an apartment. So before one has kids, you have to come up with a plan of first a family plan. Okay, so what we decided on doing, Lucario, Miles, and when I said Lucario, I mean the both of them. I just don't want to. No, we said first was okay. What we're going to do is we're going to have a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan, a 20-year plan. Okay, so first we're gonna live in an apartment, and then what we'll do is we'll rent a house, and then after we rent a house, we'll buy a house, and then after we buy a house, we'll build a house, and then after we build the house, we're in the phase now because we have a 7-bedroom house, so that's too much because all the kids are gone. Now what we're doing is we're about to buy 18 acres of land and live off of that. We're gonna live as grandparents, the end game, but that's
the ranch house.
Well, yeah, if you all that cake ass shit, yeah. But so that's the first phase you got to do. Now with kids, because that's the only reason why I got married. Because I wish I had 10. I love kids, but the beautiful thing about kids is that you can always have what we call hand-me-downs. Okay, so having son. Okay, I went son daughter, which is good. I had a son, then I had a daughter, then I had another daughter. Wait, excuse me, back up. Hey, wait, daughter, son, daughter, son. So the hand-me-downs are easy to hand down to the kids, but also what's important, and it's not necessarily the financial cost because it's all about responsibility. I mean, you really got to check your finances because kids, yes, like Lakari was saying, they can be very, very expensive. And what you have to do is you got to learn how to manage your money. So then the next thing when you want to have kids, or if you choose to have kids, or it just happens, you got to have a discussion. And this is very important. This is even more worse than money, guys, is that the discussion of holidays. Well, how we're going to handle discipline, what we're going to do as far as schooling, how we're going to look at PTA meetings. What are we going to do at Christmas time? How are we going to handle, again, discipline? How are we going to handle the kids? What are we going to do as a unit? We got to talk about political. We got to talk about religion. How are we going to raise our kids? Why are we going to raise our kids this way? Or we're going to let our kids choose to find their own religion. So these are the things you got to do. But like I say, like Lacario was saying, your boy Arico was saying that as far as the schooling goes and stuff, you have to have a plan. And that's why, again, you got to save money. So depending on your kids, you got to put money aside because the way we did it is we want to give our kids 250. I mean, I wish I have parents like this, but we want to give our kids 250 for Christmas, every kid. And we want to make sure every kid gets something. We got to make sure how we do the birthdays and all that other stuff. But at the same time, we got to set up college. So we decided every kid, when they graduate, they'll get a brand new car, and we're gonna set up college for them. So once we do that, we're gonna pay for all their college and support them. Thank God, my daughter, she's got scholarship. She's in Baylor doing medical shit. She's gonna be a doctor. We don't have to pay for that. But
nice.
But it all starts at the beginning. A family plan, a plan with the person. So if you can't work with the person that you knock up, it's not going to happen because it's all going to fall to shreds because of what the mother's going to do to the kids. So you got to make sure that you can work with that person and have it be about the kid and look at the future of how you want to raise them, how you want to discipline them. You know, I wanted all my kids in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. They did that. I want them to take boxing. They did. I want them to I want them to be able to be self-sufficient and independent people on their own. Right. They can't bring nothing less than to be in the household, but they are honor roll students because that's just how they're built. But it's all got to be a plan. But as far as the money goes as well, you got to be able to put money aside for the future. You got to think ahead. And like the car was saying, you got to watch out for medical things. I mean, kids get sick, kids get injured. Things happen. But as far as clothes, what's good about the clothes is that you can hand down clothes from your boys to your boys, your girls to your girls. So your cost of clothing is not that bad as people may think it is because unless you're stacking. But if you have a boy and a girl, that might be a little bit different. But if you have two of something, you'll be able to save a little bit of cost on that, man.
Right. If I have a boy and a girl, everybody wearing yellow. Fuck it. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to say something real quick. You know, I think that I don't have kids myself. I have a nephew. That's the closest thing. No, I kind of have some experience because my long-term relationship that I was in, she had 3 kids. I mean, she has 3 kids. And I was there for a good section of raising them and, budgeting and learning how to do things. And I think that having children kind of forces you to understand how to budget, because when it's just you and your chick, it's like you can kind of spend money how you want it, just as long as money left over to pay the bills, you good. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to kids, and then on top of that, if you the type of family that y'all cook good, so they know good food, and then when you take them out, they always ordering shit like crab and shrimp and lobster, and you be looking at them like, what? You know what I'm saying? But it's because you raise them on good food, so they order some of the best shit on the menu, and you looking at them like, you know what? Next time, just hand them the fucking kids menu, because these kids know too damn much about some food, and they just be ordering the best shit on the menu. Like you over there talking about, yeah, I'll take the chicken. And this little nigga over there talking about, yeah, I'll take the ribeye steak with the bone in. You look at this nigga like, how you better than me, little nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, you gotta be careful with stuff like that. But what I will say is, having children, it kind of like, you know, if you are paying attention, if you are aware, and if you are responsible, it thrusts you into a state of mind that you have to learn how to budget. You have to learn how to be responsible with money, and you have to learn how to be, you know, a strategic and, you know, smart consumer. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like there were times before that on the show, we talked about credit, right? We talked about using credit cards and stuff like that. It might help you to use credit cards simply because when you make purchases with credit cards, you get points. Those points lead you to get, you know, points equal money, other things. Yeah. So like the average person who don't believe in credit cards, they'll spend their direct money off of a debit card, but they're not getting any points like that. But if you spend money and you get points from Target or Walmart, you get points that you can use at these companies that actually sell a lot of like high bulk things that you need for your children. Right. It makes sense. And so that's when you apply for a credit card, because when you really break it all down, a family is a business. Right. You know what I'm saying? A family is a straight business. So so just like how you might have a business where you have a business credit card where you buy supplies, it's the same stuff. You got to buy supplies for the family. Everybody using paper towel, everybody using toilet paper, everybody need toothbrush, toothpaste, all the toiletries and all that. Those things you can rack up points using your credit card, and then you could buy extra shit with the points. You understand? And save money that way. You understand? And then there is also, you know, you have to consider another thing we talk about is the, you know, index funds and the money market funds and annuities. You know, you want to pay for a college education. A good way to do that is to start putting money away for each child, right, in those annuities and in those index funds. So by the time you put, you know, maybe $50 in there every week from every time you get paid or whatever it is, by the time they reach 18, you know, there's a heavy amount of money sitting in that index fund that can allow you to help pay for college, buy them that brand new car that Steve was talking about, and all of this and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, kids are good in a way because the responsibility level gets ramped up like heavy. You understand what I'm saying? Because we talked about budgeting in another episode as well, and you have to consider that, yo, if your kid's playing sports, they need equipment, they need supplies. You know, you want to put them in, you know, like Steve says, Brazilian jiu-jitsu and shit, and like that's money. All that stuff is money. You got to pay the taekwondo teacher, and you know, take him to summer camp and all this different shit, bro. Like, you know, they got to get, sometimes you got to take him to the dentist all the fucking time, like sick, everything.
So let me ask you a question. So when it comes to, like, you know, like how like you give your kids allowance, right?
And that,
right. So do you think it's better to, or I should say this, when you give them allowance, right? Do you also give them extra money on top of that if they ask you, or do you just let them deal with the allowance? Be like, look, I already give you allowance. That's as much money you got, and you can't talk to me till next week or whenever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. No, so I mean, with that one, man, the allowance is a key thing. What you said, no, don't give them any extra money. Part of going back to what Miles said and Steve said, it's all about discipline, man. Right. Because what you instill in your kids, you know what I mean? They're sponges, man, and they learn off of you. So if you teach them good discipline from day one, they learn good discipline. Why I say don't give them any extra money, I give my son as an example. I give him allowance, and I broke it down to him. I told him I give him $35 a month. Right. But at the same time, I told him, like, hey, you know, $10 out of this is going to be your cell phone bill because you got a little cell phone.
Right.
So you know what I mean? And so $25 is left for you to do whatever you want to do. But I tell them every time, now you got to save at least 10 to 15% of your money.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So you got to save at least $5-7 a month out of his own money. And I make sure he do it.
Right.
And anything that's left out of that, pretty much you only get left about $15 a month. He be tight, but he know that, like, you know what I mean, it's going towards whatever. And I make sure to show him.
Right.
And and I'm not super consistent, but at least once a month or something, like before the pandemic, I take him to the bank and we sit down at the bank. He write his little check, right, to really understand X, Y, Z. Right. But now I do that because that forces him to understand, like, yo, everything costs money.
Right.
And even with the allowance, that type of stuff. Listen, I'm Pops from Friday. I'm the dude, like, I be sitting on my couch. I make my son come down and pass me the cup of water that's like 2 centimeters away from me. Why? Or principle. You know what I mean? Nothing in life is free. You can't just be watching TV all day, laughing and joking. You ain't paying no bills. Because that's how you have these kids out here just running amok, doing what they want, cursing, out of control, disrespecting parents. Nah, you gonna work. Ain't nothing free. So yeah, now with the allowance, I definitely break it up, make sure he understands how to spend money and save his money. That's why the last episode when I told that joke, when we was ordering that movie, I set him up with the okie doke, like, oh, you could buy the movie for $20 or you could order it. And he was like straight out, like, looked me dead in the eye and said, nah, what? He's like, I'm not gonna waste my money, Dad. You gonna buy it. Right. You know what I mean? And then he negotiated with me like, you know what? I'll just rent it. I'll rent it for $4.99. I'll rent it for $4.99 then. Right. He said, nah, matter of fact, I don't want it, Dad. I don't even want to rent it. He ain't want to spend his own money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you don't teach them that type of stuff, they don't know. I mean, in the end, he folded. By the hour, he's like, I'm just gonna order it because you're a kid. Right. But he at least started to kind of understand, like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my money on this. I'm gonna hold on to every single dollar. And that's kind of how you do with the allowance part of it. At least my version. That's my version of how I do it.
Yeah, for my version of it, I don't give allowance. I put them to work. So they get paid off of doing the dishes, laundry, vacuuming, walking the car, walking the dog, prepping, taking the dishes, put everything you can think of. So I don't want to give them allowance, but my allowance to them is every summer. What we do is we go to the teacher. There's like a teacher store, and we go to a teacher store. Let's say they're going from 2nd to 3rd grade. So in the summertime, we'll get all the books for 3rd grade and give them homework assignments and stuff like that to help them carry over to the next grade. So, I'm all about rewarding great behavior, not good. I want great. So honor roll, so you always on my good side when you're on the road, because at that point, because you're doing the hard work. I'm not running behind you. I'm not gonna say do your homework because you got that. Hey, I'm a tough rod when it comes to that shit, because I want you to be better than what the fuck I ain't, because I ain't shit. But I want you to be better than me. So what I do is that when you get those straight A's, get honor rolls, I don't reward you then. But what I reward you is when that new Xbox comes out. If Dad's got one, you've got one. When I get a new game, you want to download, I get it, you get it. And I don't get it just to get it for them. I get it to let them know that, look, when you do good in life, good things happen to you.
Right.
Fuck up, bad things happen to you.
Right.
So I look at it more as a teaching mechanism, but I put an allowance thing because, you do it how, and this is the beautiful thing that everyone's listening to. You do it the way that you deem it best for you and what works for you, because everybody, everyone doesn't do it the same, but we all have good intentions for our kids, man.
Exactly.
Right. And you know what I think is good about that?
Doing shit.
It's not even because we're talking about, like, even, how much money does kids cost, but it's also a good thing to teach your kids the value of money, which I think is good with the, what you guys are saying, like, yo, give them that allowance, make sure they're responsible for certain things, make sure they understand what the money is. Because I think if, because I remember when I was young, I was terrible. Like, I used to take money, like my mom had this freaking like a whole ball of money in this little jacket pocket in the closet she would have and shit. And I would go in there and I only take maybe like $2, you know what I'm saying? Something that she won't be missing, you know what I mean? But it was like I would periodically take the money. And I think she knew I was at a certain point. So maybe she put extra in there because she knew I was gonna take it. But it was like until I started, like when I got a job, when I had to get a job, and it was like I started to see money, like, and I had to work to get. then it was like I felt bad, you know what I'm saying? And so now I be breaking my mom's off money like this, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So
real quick, it's hustling, dog. Come on, let me show you some game we used to do back in the day.
Right.
I would take $2, $3 out of my mom's purse.
Right.
I go to the store, buy some Jolly Ranchers, some Lollipop, and some candy.
Right.
Then I go and sell that shit.
Right.
Make mom's money, get it back to mom's
Right.
money, count the money, flip the paper.
Right.
I'm always hustling, nigga.
That's fire. That's fire. That reminds me of something that I did with my girls' kids. The two youngest ones, actually, right? So what we used to do, we like, y'all know about BJ's, Costco, Sam's Club, you know, the places where you could get stuff in bulk.
Yes. Yeah.
I told them one day we was just talking, and they was talking about how kids be, you know, bringing certain candies to school. You know what I'm saying? And I said to them, I said, you guys ever thought about selling candy to your classmates? And then the son was like, wow, you know, that's a good idea. We should do that. And I said, you see, we go to BJ's all the time. You see how they have those big boxes of candy. You guys could buy a box of candy and you sell it. And then when you make a profit, you take that profit and you buy more candy. Right? But I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a loan to start you guys off. You understand? So I took $20 and they bought Welch's like fruit snacks. They bought like I think some Kit Kats, some Snickers, and a few other things. And then like I took them through the whole rope. You understand? I went on Excel. I went on Microsoft Word Excel, and I listed the candies. I put the inventory. You understand? I put the cost of the candy, and I even showed them this is the amount of money that you should make if you sell every piece of candy. You understand what I'm saying? And then so what I did at the end of the week, I said you have to come in and log how much of the candies you stole. And I said to them, do you understand why we do this? I said, we do this so we can understand which candies are the most popular, so we can buy the popular candies and not waste money on the candies that are not that popular.
Yes.
We did the Excel sheet. We found out that Skittles and the Snickers, the fun size Snickers, and the Welch's fruit snacks were the most popular. So we spent most of our money on those. You understand what I'm saying? And they really got a decent lesson out of it all. And we took the money to the bank after they paid me back. They had to pay me back my 20. But after that, they was making their own money. We was taking the money to the bank. You know, they came home with change. And of course, I gave them the speech. I was like, listen, you know, try not to do this in front of the teachers. Only do it in recess or in the hallway or whatever. Don't do it during class. Do not disrupt the class. Blah, blah, blah. If I hear that y'all disrupting the class, the business is shut down. You know, all of that stuff, trying to keep the boundaries and everything like that. But they really got I feel like they really got a great lesson out of it, right? Because the young girl, when she got to college, she started baking vegan cupcakes. Yeah. And hustling money that way, where a lot of the time she don't even ask her mom for money at this point because she be hustling the vegan cupcakes. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And then the son, he started doing I think he started renting clothes. You know what I'm saying? He started renting clothes to his boys. And now he's actually he's studying he was in college, but he took a year off to learn to do security. You understand? Because at first he was doing retail, where he was the kid folding the shirts at Old Navy or whatever. Yes. He went and got his security. He found out what the security guard was making. Went and got his security certification. Now he's doing loss prevention for Old Navy and making 3 times as much money. You understand? And then also he's actually in general contracting school, because now he's trying to get a certification to become a general contractor to build houses and corporate buildings and things like that. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel, I know a lot of guys look at the whole stepdad situation as like something, undesirable. You understand? But if you got game, right? If you got game and you know how to bestow game, and you take the role seriously, there's a lot of good things that can happen from you understanding that kids don't just cost money. You know what I'm saying? They can make money. You understand? you know that whole saying, if you give a man a fish, he could eat for a day. You teach him how to fish, he could eat for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a beautiful thing when you can instill a level of game, a level of hustle into your children. So like, like Steve was saying, and like Rashidi was saying, it's about them understanding the value of a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Understanding how to hustle, understanding that it's not always about, going into the closet stealing money from your mom's, Lucario. It's not always about that.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I want to touch on a couple things, man, that you brought up. Pretty much one of the things with your kids is it's a do-over for parents. Let's be honest here, though. Like all the mistakes that you made and all that type of stuff through your kids is a do-over. That's why you have those kids that, like what Steve said, his kids is all going to be rock stars. You know what I mean? Like, because off top, all the mistakes you made, you can put them in a situation where they can avoid those mistakes. They're still going to make life mistakes, but they're going to avoid certain mistakes because you instill in them and you train them like a young age. You know what I mean? You train them as far as, my son, he doesn't drink juice. You know what I mean? We know black people, all that, diabetes, all that. So he don't drink juice, none of that type of stuff. And he feels good about it. Somebody give him a soda, I'm good. Every once in a while, you might catch him every 2 weeks, drink a cup of juice. You know what I mean? Like, so you instill those stuff. But what I wanted to rope back around is going back, because I know we just talked about mainly instilling stuff in kids, but as far as adults, what we got to do in terms of raising kids. I mean, you brought up some good points, Miles, about the schools and different plans. Truth be told, it's best to invest for kids in these life insurance policies and annuities. Reason being is because it's a product that the government can't touch. What do I mean by that? At the end of the day, if you get a policy, like for example, my son has a life insurance policy. By the time he turns 18, he can borrow 7-8K from it. Government can't touch that. What do I really mean? If you go into these little commercials, Gerber commercials, and these 403Bs type of accounts, they track how much you're saving for your child. So therefore, if you're not in a certain financial bracket, you disqualify yourself from getting financial aid and assistance for kids. So when you open those stuff, they track it. If your parents go to college, they track that type of stuff. So I'm not telling people to hide your income, but truth be told, when you do I see a little Gerber Life commercial, let me start this one. They track that stuff. So now when your kid goes to college, if your family's not making 100,000 or 150,000 or above, you can't really truly afford to send them off to the college they want to go to and things of that nature. But if you put the money in right places like insurance and investment, things like that, you can use those tools to help pay for college and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You still want to save the right way and save certain things and do CDs and do little things like where you building your own credit. You add your child on to as an authorized user on your credit card. So you're building their credit. So by the time they hit 18 and older, they have excellent credit. You know what I mean? While working on your own personal type of stuff. So, I want to bring that point on as far as adults. You still got to do certain things. And be honest with you, if you are a single parent, you do got to use the system because the system is designed to get you in a better place. Unfortunately, most people just depend on the system, don't use it what it's for, and become lazy and don't use it. But the truth is, the money that you're saving on food, you know what I mean? You can save some of that money. They help you with college. They help you pay for college. They help you do all the stuff to where you could go into society and be a successful person. But most people don't take advantage of it. So I think for parents, it's just really paying attention and trying to save money. And like Steve said before, planning way ahead, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like putting away $50 a month, man. I mean, you multiply that for the year, that's like $600 a year. You multiply it times 18 years, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just being little and just thinking about it and just being conscious. Like, hey, I gotta save. You know what I mean? I gotta find little ways I can save money on the side that's still legit. Which, like I said, insurance policies, call out KT, will set you up. But you can do different things like that to help yourself out. And just thinking, man. I mean, just thinking. I mean, listen, the American dream, it's all good to go to a 4-year college and go to this great university. But let's be honest, like outside these top Ivy League schools, to spend $50,000, $60,000 a year, most times it's silly. You know what I mean? To spend that much money to come out making $40K and owe $150,000. Is it worth it? Send your kid to community college. You know what I mean? Like start planning stuff and being smart about stuff. You go to community college for 2 years, it's a third of the price. Then they can go to university they want to, maybe. But the point is just really just trying to be smart and just actually stop and think. The problem with most people is that they don't stop and think.
Mm.
Everybody doing 40, 50-hour work hours, and it's called time poverty, where you work so much that you just never think about nothing. You just working. I got to go to work. We see it on social media all day. I'm at work. I got to get this money. But you're getting this money for what? Stop and actually think. Budget yourself. Do X, Y, Z. Half the time we wouldn't have to work 50, 60, 70-hour weeks if we actually stopped and think about, damn, maybe let me start going to McDonald's 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
let me start packing a lunch instead of spending money. You know what I mean? And things like that. So, that's my little 2 cents on how to really budget and plan for the future for yourself and for your kids. Yeah,
Well,
so.
Shout out to True Savage, Tony Brown, and Dada Saints. But go ahead, Steve.
Just real quick, there's one thing also I would love to do is in the freshman year, that's where we cultivate what they're going to start doing for their lives. So we begin to find out what it is that you want to do, how you want to do it. Now, if you don't know what you want to do, then you're going to do what dad did, where his daddy did him. 11th grade, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I ain't have no idea. I was just a whore, fucking just doing the thing. Well, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do.
Right.
So my dad was like this. He took me and drove me and said, look, you got 2 choices. You can go to college, you can get the fuck out of my house, or go to the military. Military. So what I would say to the child that doesn't know what he wants to do, and like you said, and again, I'm not selling the military to people, but there's so many benefits to it that it really gives you discipline. You get the GI Bill, you can go to college and they match the GI Bill. You get to travel, you get to save money, you get for 3 square meals and a place to stay. So any money you make, you get to save. You don't even need to spend that money. So that's one thing I would recommend for them. But I would say early on, start cultivating them as soon as they get in high school. Okay, where are we going with this? And is now we start prepping them if they want to go to college for whatever. Start prepping them with college courses while they're in high school to keep them moving towards whatever degree they're looking for, if they're looking for a degree. But if they don't know, because some kids don't know what they want to do, and you don't want to pressure them or belittle them or shame them, they just don't know. So if they don't know, that's when you suggest Army, because you're gonna work. You can work and flip Burger King and do all that shit up to a certain point, but after that, motherfucker, you got to get a motherfucking job because you getting the fuck out the house. Right. So, one way or the other, you got to go.
Thanks. So let me ask y'all this. Do you think that a person, and maybe from you guys' experience too, is that do you think a person should say, well, let me make sure, I have a certain amount of money before I decide to have children? Or do you think a person can have kids even though they don't really have the money yet, and then just sort of like catch up and just like deal with it as it goes along? Like, what's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here though. Like, 9 out of 10 situations, kids are unplanned. Let's be real. It's very rare that someone actually plans a kid. Like that's the first reality. So in a perfect world, the 1 out of 10 people, you want to save as much money as possible. But the real truth is just that individual, and those 2 individuals, should I say, going back to what Steve said earlier, it's just really about being responsible and readjusting. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. The problem is most people don't face their reality or face their problems. But when you have a kid, you're forced to face your problems. If you don't face your problems, the government is taking your kids. So that's just the reality of the situation is that in that situation, you want to plan certain money and you don't want to have a kid willy-nilly. So that does make sense to wait to 25, 26, 27, 28 till you're more established. But let's be honest, if you're not established by that point, are you not going to have kids? Are you going to wait till 35, 40, you know what I mean? And then other things start happening in life, and then you don't have the kids that you want to have. So it's really truly about that individual and their responsibility level and their own goals, and them just really making a plan. And if you have a kid early, you have a kid early. But for that person asking that question, if you want to wait, yes, you try to save $50,000, $60,000 for your kids. But let's be honest, if you don't have a real plan, it doesn't matter what you do. Just so if you want to have kids, just have kids. Is the moral of the story, though. Just plan appropriately. You know what I mean? If you definitely a saver and you're an accountant and all that type of stuff, that's great. And you want to do it the right way, but nothing ever goes the right way or exact to plan in life. You know what I mean? You just got to plan for certain things and constantly readjust, and just putting yourself in a mental state of just constantly readjusting because I give myself my example. I didn't expect that my son. It happened. You have sex and things happen. So But at the end of the day, in the beginning, it was rough, man. In the beginning, man, like me and my mother, the son of my mother's child, we broke up. So in the beginning, it was rough. It was nights. I had my own apartment. I always lived on my own. Since I was pretty much 17. So I had my own apartment. It was nights where he had the top of the top formulas, but I had about 1 egg left in the fridge and about a cup of milk in the fridge. I ain't eating nothing. So it was rough. But as time went on, I learned how to save and plan properly and things of that nature. But I made sure he was good. But then I realized that after time, I gotta be good because if I'm not good, he's not gonna be good. That too.
Oh yeah, you hear me?
Yeah. Well, see, for me, guys, I'm strategic. I planned them all, and the last two I really planned because I figured, wait, hold up, man, I can really pick the days where they could be together. Like my son was born. My wife held the pregnancy because WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania in Houston. So I'm a big ass kid. We would go. All my boys going to WrestleMania. So she waited a day to have the baby to go to WrestleMania. Hold on. I'm like, wait a second. Wait, I can really do this. So what I figured out for the last two, I said, you know what? I want August babies. So I'm gonna knock her up in November. So. My birthday is August 21st. My daughter's is August 19th, and my son is the 18th. So we back to back. So I planned that, but I planned that. But again, it's no knock if things happen. You have a kid. It's not about that, but it's about what you do when they're here. And this is where I always put it on the man. You know what? Once you have kids, I won't say your life is over. It's not. Your life is never over as a man.
Sure, it is.
You got to. Well, no, you got to cultivate. Yeah, I know. You got to cultivate your bloodline. You got to prepare him for taking you're passing the baton, so to speak.
Right.
So what's important that you got to do, even though you might not have time with him, because at that point, you got to work. Somebody got to work 2 jobs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody got to do some extra shit around to make up. So that's part of the responsibility of being a man, in my opinion. Like, well, it ain't gonna be I'm sitting on my ass and working again. During the pregnancy, in the last few months, when they take off and stuff, you got to, that's just that. But after that baby getting pushed out, they getting their ass back to work. But I'm gonna work. But in order to handle the bills, it's about management. But again, if the bill starts slipping, you got to slip your ass into another job and fix that.
Right. I just want to point something out real quick. Like, and I really commend you, Steve, because guys, I don't know if guys really understand the depth of the benefit of understanding game. This man just said that he literally planned the birth of all his babies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
That's
You
real,
understand how heavy that is? Like that's not no. A lot of niggas just heard you say that, and it was like, "Oh yeah, Steve is a funny nigga." He talking about WrestleMania. Listen, bro.
Yeah.
Like this is what we talk about when we cover game and we talk about strategy and getting exactly what you want out of life, based on management, based on first picking the right partner, because you gotta have the right type of woman.
Yes.
That's gonna be like, wait, so you want me to have all my babies in August, nigga? Oh, goddamn. Is that how you want it? Okay, well, that's how we gonna do it because you the man and you got the plan and I'm with the fucking plan.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Meanwhile, a lot of these cats, you meet some ratchet nothing in the club, you fuck her in the bathroom, forget her name, and then the bitch call you up 2 weeks later talking about, nigga, I'm pregnant. And you be like, what you doing on the phone with me? It ain't mine.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
That's crazy,
bro. I just want to point out the value of game, Steve. Like what you just said is not because it seems like a small detail, but if you look at the way if a man has a plan and he manages his situation, and like I said, very importantly, picks the right partner to execute that plan with. Like that's some unstoppable shit.
Yeah.
Right.
That's some powerful stuff right there. Where you're literally, because I said it before the other day. When I was talking about the responsibility of a man in creating baby moms and single parent mothers and stuff like that. When we value ourselves and we create a certain quality of life for ourselves. It trickles down to the children when you can plan and strategize about these things. That's game.
Right.
You understand? It ain't just about, I told y'all, game ain't about fucking with bitches. Game is about life. Game is about getting exactly what you want and planning it and being strategic and being smart and understanding your value and understanding what you want and how you want it and elevating the quality of your regimen, elevating the quality of your day-to-day life so even your kids can benefit. You understand? Your wife could benefit. Why? Because all her children are happy. She's in a healthy home.
Yes.
The bills are taken care of. Everybody's on the honor roll. Everybody's going to college. Everybody knows what they want to do with their life. She got a man that has a plan, that has confidence. Like, did you know that there's some women that after they have their first kid, they never want to have another child, but due to shit like postpartum depression and all that type of shit.
All that shit happens. Right.
And it can happen to any woman, but I'm sure it happens less to a woman that has a man with a plan that knows how to manage shit and knows how to lead and has game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
right. We over here talking about how much money does a kid cost. It still depends on the plan. It still depends on the game. It still depends on everything that's surrounding the leader of that family.
Yes. Right.
That's the reason why we have all these videos. Yeah, we're talking about financial literacy and all of that, but it all boils down to game.
Yeah.
You understand? It all boils down to strategy. It all boils down to knowing who you are. Like this man, he said, nigga, I want to see Summer Jam. So I'm gonna need you to hold off on the labor. You know what I'm saying?
One day.
Give me one day, baby. That's so beautiful, bro.
Right.
That you can actually holla at the missus like, listen, I'm gonna need you to give me 24 hours on this kid.
Right.
And she listened?
Yeah, of course. Have you met me? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. These average niggas can't get a bitch to pick up a Happy Meal for them on the way over. And you got the woman delaying labor so the fam could go to Summer Jam, though.
WrestleMania, motherfucker.
WrestleMania. Oh, what I said, Summer Jam. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I was thinking SummerSlam. That's what I was thinking.
SummerSlam, yeah, WrestleMania. Yeah.
Because I used to live in Texas. I know how big wrestling was.
Yeah.
When I was 5 and 6, I lived in Texas for a while. Yeah. Wrestling was huge. I went to a few wrestling matches myself. But that is heavy shit that a lot of cats, I swear that just went over their head. That's why I wanted to really like take the time to actually address it, because cats don't understand how heavy details like that are when it comes to game, when it comes to planning, when it comes to, like I said, picking the right partner.
Yeah.
That's so heavy, man. So thank you for sharing that. That's real shit.
Real shit.
Yeah, man.
Real shit.
Yeah, man.
So the last thing, any last things, words that we can cover that you would think that a person would need to know as far as like having kids, the cost, certain things that they need to look out for, and to just basically make it beneficial for them in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from to piggyback off what Miles said, definitely stuff Steve brought up. Just really making sure you find the right partner. In the event that you don't find the right partner, because everybody's their own individual, whatever the cases and circumstances happen, you got to take up baton and take control and manage your situation and become the leader. You know what I mean? You got to step up and become that leader. Because the truth is, our kids, and how we raise them, that dictates how they're going to act in the world and how they're going to go on. Right. And they do carry on your own name. You know what I mean? So it's just about really taking responsibility and just accepting the fact that whether you plan a kid or you didn't plan a kid, you got to constantly readjust yourself and constantly be on your P's and Q's, and life happens, and instill all the things mistakes you made. Make sure your kids don't make those mistakes. Let them make their own mistakes that they're just coming across, that they're going across life. And then in terms of finances play a huge role. But like Steve said, it all starts from you, the individual, of making all your morals and all the other stuff come and play first. Then the finances will naturally fall into place. And then for the finances, like I said, planning for your kids, take advantage of these systems. Just be smart about it. You know what I mean? Invest in insurance. Again, call RKT to start saving for your kid and things like that. And that's my take on it. That's my take on it.
That's what.
Well, my take is, and I wanted to grab this because I always used to have something like this, and because I knew I was fucking, because I knew I was going to do a lot of pussy. Now Miles showed the rubber and everything, but one thing I have, I always had this when I was out there, and this is a box full of money. You know, you can see it's a box full of money. You see that? And the reason I had, this is how I did it. The reason I had that was because I want young men to start putting money away. When you get to fucking, now listen to Miles, he showed you all that rubber. When you get to fucking and you start sitting and messing with women, you should always put funds away for the possibility of being a father, meaning that I always played dead. See, as a man, I want to be, like Miles said, I want to be in control of everything. And I want to be in control of the shit that doesn't even happen yet. And I'm not saying you don't want to be a father or not be a father, but what I'm saying to you young men out there is that I played father even though I wasn't one. So I said to myself, what am I, if she got pregnant, what am I going to do? Am I prepared? Do I have money? What is the strategies? What's the game plan? What's this? And gentlemen, I'm telling you, when again, this is game. This goes back to what I was saying. See, game looks beyond the present. So I was always looking at, you know what? So this is what I'm going to do. Because I was working at Kids Kingdom making like $4.35, but because I was a gigolo, I could save some money. So what I was doing was I was taking money and putting it away. Now, the fund was the father fund. Now, I never had no kids out of wedlock, whatever, but in case I did, in case I had that problem, I have a to-go box like I have right here. I mean, it's a different to-go box, but I got a to-go box that I would just drop money in. Do not touch it. It is only break glass in case of a father emergency. So that way I can be prepared, because one thing a lot of young black men or young men don't do is they don't prepare for the future. They think they're in control of everything. So the number one thing I would tell guys to do that's important is create. Now, if you got the Lucarios, the two Lucarios and the Miles type thing, and y'all are fucking by all means, get that box and start putting money in that box. Because again, I'm not wishing on you guys. I always tell you, please save sex. Wrap up. I'm all about that. But things do happen, yes. But when it happens, are you prepared for what has happened? Because you got to pay for vitamins. You got to prepare for doctor bill. You got to look at when you want to get in this fuck game. You got to think about all this, not put your dick on the fair and your balls in their mouth. You got to think about, if I get her pregnant, how much are the doctor visits? Right. You got to do your research and find out how much is a doctor visit. And not only how much is a doctor visit, you need to go to your job, to the HR department, and ask, what are the medical benefits that I have, where if I have a child, what are the benefits I'm going to have? What is the doctor bill going to be like? How much money do I have to pay versus what I don't have to pay? And I know a lot of you guys say, man, Steve, that's just so much thinking. But motherfucker, if you're going to fuck, you better think about this shit, because that shit going to happen. You're going to have to pay doctor bills, medical bills. You got to pay for prenatal vitamins and all that. You got to pay when she in the motherfucking hospital. Oh my God, you got to pay for all that shit. So
it's like an exaggerated hotel stay. You got to pay for that bed and that room. That ain't no joke.
Every day. So all I'm just saying to young men out there, please start grabbing a box. If you fucking like these guys on this panel, they would start putting the money away now. Now, work today for tomorrow.
See, Steve,
I got to add on to that, man. Like, because that right there is a real message, man. Putting away that money, but nah, man, you really got to do that though. Like you said, you really got to think about all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Medical bills, all that type of stuff. And a perfect example, honestly, just look at all the rappers and the actors. Let's be real here.
Right.
They have 6, 7 kids. They don't want to keep making all these videos and making all these albums and all this type of stuff. They having all them kids because everything Steve just said, they did not do. That's why they got to keep making these albums and all this type of stuff to keep paying child support, to keep keeping up with them high bills, because they ain't having, full custody, and they paying child support, and it's a vicious cycle, man.
Real quick, we just did a story today on the Bad Boy Show. DMX's estate could possibly be worth, first they said less than $1 million, then they said it could be worth just around $50,000. And DMX has 15 children.
Wow.
Exactly. See?
Oh, see that?
See, it's real. It's real. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's real because
that's game. Game is everything. It's everywhere.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
But man, this is a dope episode because you guys got some information that I don't think a lot of people was even talking about shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So
this podcast right here might go viral, bro. You let this shit out though, like this is some real game on this though. Like, you know what I mean? Shit, man.
So, guys, I appreciate everybody in the chat tuning in. Make sure you share this video with your friends and your enemies. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit up Rashidi at rktappraisals.com. Rashidi, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, rktappraisals.com, 973-420-5028, www.rktappraisals.com. And then again, we do finances, life insurance, mortgage insurance, and we repair credit and fix credit and do everything to get your finances together, get your life together, and create generational wealth. So definitely check out the website and give us a call at any time.
You know what? If you had game, I'm gonna teach y'all game. If y'all had game, I'll be calling that motherfucker up right after the show is over with again to prepare. Y'all motherfuckers gonna blink. You 18, gonna be 24. You blink, you'll be 30. You be like, where's my life going? What's happening? Guys, what we're trying to show you is that game is not just bitches. It's everything. And this man right here can give you a step ahead of the average motherfucker by the information he can lace you with. That's what game's about. I just want to praise him for what he's doing. But if you're a young motherfucker listening to this, get on and say, hey, fuck the Jordans. Fuck waiting in line for fucking hours to get a pair of shoes. Get your ass in and invest on something that you get a return. And I just wanted to say that, man. That's a real
talk. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share this with your peoples. And
hold on, wait, Steve, talk about the man mindset real quick.
The man mindset, y'all. Hey, we just a bunch of whores and sluts, man. We I'm just rolling with the bad boys and all in the appraisals and shit. Yeah, so
all right, cool.
So guys, we're gonna holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.